what's different between virtual and fractional, obviously the connotation of virtual is he's not in the room, but fractional is basically saying, all right, you're going to get me for 8 hours a week. We have an ongoing contract. I'm your VP 8 hours a week. Or 4 hours, whatever the contract is for. And so now what you're doing is you're serving as VP in a fraction of the time.
Got it. Yeah.
Of a full-time VP.
Plus, you're not on the hook for benefits or anything.
What's that?
Plus, the company isn't on the hook for big benefits or anything.
That's correct. Not big benefits or salary, right? Because at a VP level, they're going to easily pay $300K plus.
Yeah.
So we just lost a contract we were working on, and I felt he went in too high because it was a $3 million business, but it was going to be a ton of work. She may come back, we'll see. But so yeah, I think there's opportunity there. But
what did you quote him?
He quoted $10K a month for a day a week.
On a 3 million business?
Yeah.
What's her margins?
He told me, Jonathan, they're high. They're very high. It's a software company.
So the only thing they didn't get is the value that he brings in, because the price isn't bad.
Well, here's what he thinks, and I don't disagree. She had hired a consultant earlier in the year, paid her $55,000, and got nothing. So I think it's more about, because she knows the value. Jeff knows her business inside and out. It's a cybersecurity software company.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, he's got a long list of contacts that she needs. In fact, she reached out to him and said, gee, I can't afford that, but how about we work out something where you could give me your contacts and I pay you like a list provider? And we're like, no, not going to happen.
So I've worked for people for free before. When I've had that value proposition, I just kind of thought, I said, you can't afford not to do it, but I get that you've been burnt. So here's what I'm going to do. This is my price. Let's agree that if you agree that I bring value, you'll pay it. But for the first month, I'm going to show up and I'm going to show you what I can do, and I'm not going to charge you. And at the end of the first month, if you think I brought value, then it'll kick in the second, because he has time.
He does. Right? My only fear with that is she wants the list.
Well, just say, if you hire me and I come with the list, but it doesn't come without me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've literally showed up and showed people what I can do, and almost within hours are like, oh my goodness, seriously? I went, yeah. And the 2 times I did that, I totally won it. And,
yeah. All right. I'll talk to him about that.
If they've been burnt, I get it. I mean, I've had other people say to me, like, I had one guy recently, he'd spent 25 on an agency in Toronto, and he went, I didn't get anything from it all. I'm not even thinking about it. And he was told to talk to me. I didn't chase him.
Right.
And I said, okay, well, I really can't start for the first month anyway, properly. But here's a pass to my training for the first month. It's on me. If you don't hire me, that's okay. But if you do, great. But come and see what it is that we do and how we do it. So I got him into my group training in this one. This was just last month. And by the end of the first meeting, he said, we need to talk. I did a second strategy call with him. And he went, we have to work together. I totally get where you're going with this. And I didn't when you first called me, but now I do. What's that going to look like? And I quoted him on 25,000 over 4 months. And it's just not the numbers that you're talking, but he said, okay, sure, let's do it. And he wire transfers me now on the first of the month, 6250 for the next. I've just had the second one in this month. And that was because I gave him the work away for free to begin with.
Yeah. Okay.
It's easier when it's a group, I know. But if he's got time and he could show up and bring value.
Yeah. There's no question he'll bring value.
Yeah. Well, you know that. We know that.
Yeah.
And then just say if this works, and when I arrive, my list comes with me. But I want a 6-month guarantee of of work together for me to make the difference that I know I can make.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. So, Jonathan, I'm curious, what is your strategy then for next month? Like, how are you looking at, because to me, like the sassy, I shouldn't say it's dried up, but
Oh, it's changed. I don't know if you saw the Facebook group, but they dropped by 52 people this week.
yeah, wow.
But having said that, she got a lot of people sign up, and I've learned to not wait. I've learned to wait a week now to see if they all show up in
Oops,
the
you
heat of the moment
froze.
and then don't follow through. But oh, I'm here.
No, you're back.
Oh,
What did
okay.
she what did she offer for the 6 months?
It was more expensive than half of last year's.
Wow.
She was greedy, and most of the sassies that should have renewed for the 6 months did not, because they all said she's being too greedy.
What was the price?
I have it. It was so basically a renewing sassy was going to be 8,000,
Okay.
whereas last year it was 12 and a half for the
Right.
whole year, including 2 retreats. So it's more money than 50% of last year's. If she'd have made a $5,000 offer to returning sassies, all in, I know 6 or 7 of people would have done it.
Yeah.
The only bonus was if you paid in full, you got to do an 8-minute TED Talk type presentation at the retreat in front of all the sassies, to be enabled to promote your whatever it is that you do,
I see.
which costs Lisa nothing,
Yeah,
but
right.
it's good stage exposure for the retreat. But by the look of it, the most of the people at this retreat are going to be newbies. There's not that many retained sassies. She deleted the advanced tier level, and she called everybody advanced tier now. So I'm kind of ticked, and that's what I was writing to Lisa Cheney about yesterday. I went, I spent $3,000 more to be advanced. Now halfway through, advanced is gone, and everybody who's been a sassy for 12 months is now officially advanced. So I've got $1,500 on the table I'm not getting value from.
Right.
And she said, oh, but you're getting the Sassy 301 training, and it's absolutely awesome. I went, but I'd have got that anyway. Because
Right.
all advanced Sassies now get the whole academy. So I'm still not getting the value proposition.
Any
But
response to that?
no. So
Wow.
I'm going to speak to Andrea, who loves me to bits, and just say, look, the deal with advance was your partner came for $997 to the retreat. Debbie's coming, and I'm not paying that $997.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can get away with that, but I'll say that quietly. But yeah, so there's 44 people signed up at the platinum level, 7 at platinum elite, and 3 diamonds.
Wow.
And the platinum elite is with Andrea J. Lee. She came back for another 6 months, and then 2 sassies upgraded from advanced to platinum elite for their last 6 months, and they did that with Lisa Cheney. That was Erin Duffy and Donna Ricardo, both upgraded, just to make the most out of their last 6 months. But the other people got in with AJL, who came back on stage, which was interesting because I thought she was done.
Yeah, I did too. That surprises me.
I think her event was so bad that she suddenly went, I'm just being honest, in my opinion, that I think Lisa, when I told Lisa her event was so bad and that she did less than 100K, suddenly Lisa and her are back buddies again, and AJL came back in for another 6 months. So I think they both needed each other.
Yeah. Wow.
So in terms of what my game plan is, I booked a ticket to go to Bob Proctor's event the last 3 days of June,
Uh-huh.
because I've had 5, almost 6 clients now out of that community.
Oh, that's good.
So that's like a slam dunk for me. I've got the Sasu retreat coming up, which again will be a slam dunk for me to speak one-on-one with people. And then after that, in terms of the VIP one-on-ones, I've probably got 4 or 5 people at the platinum level that are in conversation, that I've said to people, I will have space come August to run through the year. So I think I'll nail 3 of those. So that'll keep my VIP slots fuller. But the other piece is, for me, I haven't leveraged my group training enough. I mean, almost everybody that buys any of my courses, I have some kind of working relationship with, and they buy.
Mm-hmm.
What I have not done a good job is at trying to get people who know of me but don't know me buy the course. I've sucked at that, which you think the internet marketing guy would know how to do that really well, and I haven't. So I've moved staff around. So Arnhem, who's been my amazing go-to person, who I kept. Oh, I could tell you about this. Remember we had this conversation and you thought I'd lose her.
Yeah.
So a week last Friday, I sat her down and I said, and I'd actually given a reference to this job that she was going to, and it actually wasn't the right job for her. In fact, she wasn't the right person for the job. I would say that. She thought she was the right person for the job, but I don't think she'd have done very well at it, given the stress and the pressure they'd have put her under. So she didn't know that. Anyway, I sat her down on the Friday afternoon and said, okay, look, here's the deal. I don't want to lose you, and I don't want to share you, but I would be willing to share you for 10 hours a week. But that's the most that I can do. And if you want to go further away than that, then this isn't going to work. But here's what I will do. I'm willing to take on a summer intern to take some of the grunge stuff off your back, because I know, it's a pain, but it has to get done. So I will do that. And I've looked at the marketplace, and I realized that in the last 8 months, the marketplace has changed dramatically, because minimum wage now for us is $15, whereas it was 11. And our government, our NDP government, which is the Democratic equivalent, if you like, Labour equivalent, has just gone nuts on employee rights. It's kind of crazy. They'll be gone soon, but always happens. Every 10 years, people forget. They let them in for a term and then kick them out again. So I said, I get that wages have changed. You have a sweet deal in that you live 8 blocks from where we live. You don't have to commute. We're growing, we're going. So I want to have you work as my right-hand assistant so that you and I will deliberately build the social media strategy for We Make Stuff Happen at a very high level. And I want you to be in charge of that with me. So there's a lot of ownership in that. And I upped her salary from, she was at 6, we put it to 16 annual review in March, and she was happy with that at the time. So I said I would up her salary to $20 an hour, with a view that by the end of the year, we would look at trying to bring in benefits to the company. And that was my offer.
Yeah.
So she said she would think about it. And she came back to me on Monday, and we have an outside patio. So it was a beautiful day. So she was working outside. So I sat with her and she said, we need to talk. I went, okay. I just want to let you know that I withdrew my application for that job. I had 2 other resumes in the wind that I also withdrew. And I'd be a fool not to accept that offer and work with you closely. And I'm willing to sign another 12-month contract straight away.
Oh, I'm so happy. Yay. Great job on that.
So it's like,
Yeah, exactly. You needed that.
I did. So it was the money, but it's also the stress of working in a pod in a big office compared to the ultimate freedom of working with me. So in all integrity, I had to up Paige's salary as well, because she's been with me 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
She was making $17.50, and she was due a review as well. So what I've done with Paige is I put her onto a salary. It's $40,000, which is equivalent of $20 an hour, and that way she doesn't have to submit her hours. And it's more of a badge of honor that you go from hourly paid to salary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I did that with Paige too, and she's over the moon. She didn't see that coming at all. So
Good.
I kept them both.
What a great employer you are.
I try.
No, that's awesome.
I try.
Love it.
My goal then with Arnhem, to go back to my strategy, is to really up our game on our social engagement, broader than the people that I know, so that as and when we're ready to launch Social Media Bootcamp late September, which is the Back to School for Business course, I hope to have a lot more interest and try and get that to the 100 people that I know it can handle, rather than the the maximum 50 that we've achieved so far. And if I can get another 100 into that, another 50 into that, if I can get another 10 into power content, that's, and then we get probably about 30% attraction to rebranding or website work or SEO work, just by attrition, because they love our work. Then I don't have to change my overhead at all. But I dramatically improve my margins by leveraging the groups. So my job is to keep finding the high ticket people and bring them in. And
Right.
Arnhem's job with me is to really, really work on getting a lot more people through our programs to begin with, which will then, bring in the higher ticket.
So,
and there's $500,000 of strategy right there.
So what are the primary strategies that you'll use to expand your circle?
So what some people do is they do a lot more Facebook Lives, showcasing results, which I've done before, and it's worked pretty well. And I've just gotten off the treadmill of doing my own Facebook Lives. The other piece that quite a lot of people do is they just do like a live Q&A where they call it AMA Ask Me Anything on Instagram. And basically just say, I'm in the office today. You can ask any question about anything and I'll reply. And then you screenshot the reply and you build that up. I have a friend in Toronto who did this. And he ended up he said, I had to stop it because I was getting like between 40 and 80 questions a day.
Oh my word.
And he said, these were all direct messaging. So he said, it just opened up a shed load of leads for people that I'd never heard of, that had been following me. I didn't know they were following me until they asked a question. And suddenly, we just skyrocketed our lead gen. And he said, I had to pull it back because it was just too successful.
Now he was typing in answers?
Yeah. So what happens is you on Instagram specifically, you use the keywords. So I've got a couple of thousand people that I could reach on Instagram. And when you just say, ask me anything about SEO or ask me anything about social media engagement, and then people reply, because in the box it says you ask a question, they fill in their answer to the question, but nobody else sees that, but you receive it as a direct message. And then what he did is he screenshotted the question, not the name of the person, just the question, and then he would answer it as a video for other people. So he put the question there as a graphic, if you like, at the top of the screen. And then he did like a 1-minute answer as videos through the day. And I could so do that. It would be easy to do it. I just haven't allocated the time. But now that I wrote to a local college and I already got 2 summer interns resumes yesterday. They're in co-op programs for business school. They need $900 hours of co-op work to complete their business degrees. And this college is offered to pay their first month's salary for free. And they find you subsidies so that all you have to pay these college grads is minimum wage.
Wow.
So I got 2 people that I'm interviewing on Tuesday to get one of them in, because they offered me business majors. I went, no, I don't want business. I want graphic marketing, entrepreneurial thinking people. I don't want to teach people how to, run a business. It's not what I'm going to do. I need someone to help me, but I can help them learn to be a great marketer for an agency or something. And then they're going, oh, okay. How about these 2? So I don't have to work out yet, but I got the interviews on Tuesday. So
excellent.
So that's what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I feel comfortable about that. It's tangible. It'll work. And it frees me up in some ways, and it gives me a place to just run in my joy, which is answering questions. And you could do that. You could totally do that in even in the LinkedIn format. We could do that for you by just putting yourself in. And say, I get questions all the time. I've done this for best part of 30 years. Somehow these answers to me are so natural, and yet the genius that comes out of my experience is just unquantifiable. So, hey, it's July, and this is every Tuesday I'm going to show up for 3 hours live, and you can ask any question. I'll reply straight back to you. If it's a personal nature, I'll jump on the phone and we'll brainstorm it. But that whole ask the expert kind of thing is really, really hot. Called AMA.
How would that look on LinkedIn, Jonathan?
It's not done as much. So we could create some graphics and literally have create an event sort of like between 9 and noon on a Wednesday or something. You're going to do live office hours and just say, I'm on Instagram, I'm on my LinkedIn profile. Ask me a question, and I'm gonna reply immediately back to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do that live from your profile. So someone literally writes a comment, and then 2 minutes later, you've typed it back, and you would have a whole stream of comments going into your LinkedIn profile. And by putting hashtags into the comments, birds were above my head here. Interesting. Pretty angry. All right, buddy.
You're waking them up.
Calm down. I think it's a nest. All right. So by sorry, it's not liking me here. By doing that, the hashtag gets you the search and the visibility, and it might take a couple of weeks. But if we did a round robin email to your whole list and saying we're trying something new for the month of July, Jeff and Jennifer are going to be office hours in their office live, and you could run this through multiple media, and we could even orchestrate a whole bunch of questions first, and then start getting those questions and just say that I wrote a blog about that. I will write a blog about this, and if we send a newsletter out to people saying this is what we're going to do, it's free consulting for the next 3 hours each Wednesday or every other Wednesday, and just get the visibility there, and then get some questions like the hiring question that you and I just had. You said, I've seen this so many times. More times than not, they lose the person. But, this is what we did with this one client. We took a different tack. He saved the day, got a star employee to stay. Sure, it cost him more money, but the cost of retraining and finding somebody else, it was so worth it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a blog right there.
Yeah. My brain doesn't think that way, and I need to retrain it.
That's why we're a team.
I know. Is LinkedIn, though, it's Q&A via comment section, right?
I mean, you can do live video on LinkedIn now. It's new. It's in the last month, 6 weeks that LinkedIn Live went live. But there's absolutely nothing to stop you doing it, because then you'd be trailblazing, because most people haven't used that functionality yet.
Okay.
And even if you did it just for, say, 45 minutes, and you had 6 or 7 questions that if nobody asked, you already had, what a way to show up on LinkedIn differently.
Right.
Especially if you and Jeff showed up either together or on different screens, but on the same Zoom call.
I was wondering about that.
Does he have his own office at the house as well?
Uh-huh.
So if you set up both your screens and set it all up so that it looked like the two of you are in different offices rather than sitting in front of the laptop together, which is a bit too cute, that could be really fun. And we could create a graphic of, we get a really good smile and the two of you are business casual, and then we create that graphic like this would be like the two screens next to each other, and then you have that J Hines International underneath, and just say just for Ask the Experts, from fractional BT to ultimate sales, action trainer or whatever. I'd like to try and get the action word in, or the OMG phrase into that.
Uh-huh.
And we create that as like a header, and then we send out an email and say to people, we've got this coming up for the 3 weeks of July or whatever that might be. Or it could be live. It could be live from the lake house. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Because then they think they have a lake house, and do it live from the lake house. Do live Q&A. That's I think is the smartest use of social media through the summer, without being salesy, but positioning yourself and getting that visibility.
Got it. Okay. Oh, I love all the ideas. I just have to pick one.
Well, how about we start doing it in a much more staged fashion, so that we did a Facebook Live Zoom just like this, but we broadcast it live on your Facebook page, because you got quite a lot of people on that page. And
Yeah,
then
but they're not corporate. I'd have to focus on strategic conversations.
we could, and then let's let's think about some questions ahead of. I've done this a lot with different clients, and I did it with a lady just recently for 45 minutes, and I
Uh-huh.
just asked her loaded questions, and it was just two screens visibility like this that we did as a Facebook Live, and then we transcribed that. So we took some really good nuggets as social media quotes, and several blogs came out of that as well. And then we've positioned that on her website now as on a YouTube. So we neatened it up on the YouTube channel. So we edited out some of the gaps and stuff, and have a whole really useful piece of content for her to market with.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Okay.
And we could do that for the launch of Strategic Conversations that Convert. I did move it, by the way, to the bottom of the page. I don't know if you saw.
I didn't go on yet. I think what I'm going to do, Jonathan, is I really wanted to talk to you today because I wanted to share with you,
So
well,
there it is.
my fear.
It's right at the bottom.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yep. But I wanted to share my fear about totally moving away from the retained clients. And I need to take another look at the notes I made for Lindsay. I know this was a big one, you know, what you just did with that band, whatever you call that, how you moved the strategic conversations to the bottom. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just trying to rethink this because it's really just pulling some content that's already sitting on the other website over.
And we can. I mean, it's in old HTML format, so we can lift the content and make it look pretty very quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, what I'd asked Lindsay to do was to create like an iframe, so that when they put in ASLII would see whatever it is .com, they came to that separate landing page and said, "You'll remember this page. It served us for a very long time. This is who we are today, but we didn't want you to think you'd come to the wrong place because we hadn't really changed in over 10 years. So we're going to have that as like a screenshot and then a caption to it. But if there's some specific content that serves you, we can totally add that in."
Okay.
Lindsay's, you're at 2:30 with her today, right?
Yeah, but I think I'm going to cancel it. It was a very short meeting to go over some of these changes, and I really wanted to think through our conversation.
Sure.
So I think I'm going to just tell her, let's reschedule for next week so I can be well thought out with that.
Okay, sure. I mean, I know she was taking Bryn to camp today, but she was going to be home by then, so.
Yeah, no, and it was a short call, 15 minutes, but she was I'm sure she was hoping to get info from me last night to review.
She was, yeah.
And I thought, no, I'm going to talk with you today.
Yeah. So you want a balance of retained and, I mean, I don't know how I would do if I was hand to mouth every month hoping what stuff was going to come in. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm fortunate now that 3 years on from Sassy, I've got these programs that are bedrock programs that we repeat. And there's 3 different levels now of going up through those courses. And I've got Lindsay teaching one and Susan teaching the other and me teaching the third. So it's not that I have to do them all. Yeah. So even though I pay them quite a bit to deliver the course, it's still leveraged. And it's part of our offering for our VIP group because I don't have to do all the VIP work because all I do is a social media bootcamp, which is me getting to know them anyway, which I need to do. So that's leveraged. Then we put them through Power Content, which is getting the content that they need for the website anyway, which is, again, leveraged. And it really gets them thinking into the social media vein. And then they come back and say, okay, now I get how this works. Now I really need your help because I ain't doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they turn into high-end retainer.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, I don't know, this is 3 years in the making, but I mean, it's working now. Consistently 2 years in a row, I mean, over 1 million. And I now have the opportunity to leverage again and just fill that airspace at the top of the glass, if you like, that has been empty, which could have been filled. And in some ways, you said something so profound when you did my analysis, is that you said that I almost had a fear of success or a fear of going aggressively out for sales.
Yep.
And that's really, really true.
Mm-hmm.
I never really want to push the boundary, partially from fear of rejection, but partially um, feeling worthy to do that. But this year, I really feel that my mindset has changed. And when I did my form for Lisa's event, and I had 3 pictures of Lisa and I at the top of it, it's like, join us for breakfast. And of course, then I realized she wasn't going to be there. But then Andrea said to me, she said, you don't need Lisa to promote yourself. You are the expert. People are coming to listen to you, not Lisa.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when you're on that stage, that's your stage. It's not Lisa's.
Mm-hmm. True.
And I went, oh. And just hearing things like that and what you've said to me sort of through the year has really made me think, I am my own expert now. And I can own that stage. And I just felt like and the photo, I got like 102 photographs taken by Debbie Lefevre that were a gift. And Sage have recorded it professionally with 3 different camera angles, which I'm getting as a gift too.
Oh, that's awesome. That right there is worth it.
So I'm just over the moon happy. And people have written to me and said, the energy in your face in those photographs, I've never seen you so happy and so confident and so out there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just tangible.
No, that's awesome. So here's what I'm curious about. This might be too strong of a word, but you'll know where I'm going. The fearful Jonathan, when it came to selling yourself, showed up as what in a conversation? How did that present itself?
Well, in all blunt honesty, it would show up by me running to the bathroom multiple times before I did something, because it would just go through my system, and I would have the most chronic, almost IBS symptoms.
Because what were you telling yourself?
Well, I mean, I think that was at a subconscious level, because that was always my default as a child. I always had a really bad stomach when I got nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, there's a hummingbird. Wow, right in front of my face.
Okay.
Right? Oh, wow, he was like 3 feet from my face. So that was always my inner fear. Was it just manifested itself in a physical situation? But I guess what was going through my brain was like, you're a fraud. You think you know your stuff, but when people go deep, they're going to realize they don't know what you think you know. And there are people out there that have done this way better than you and are much more humble than you, and you shouldn't be presenting yourself because it's arrogant. And all my British humility came out. I wasn't a good student at school. I always got by and I always winged it. And I was never as good as other people at school. But in reality, when I look at the people that I went to school with and where they're at today and where I'm at, they're in no man's land. They're just in their little 2 up, 2 down, regular 9 to 5 job. It's like, big deal. So he beat me in geography. Where is he now?
Yeah.
And that's not being arrogant. That's just, that was where I was at. And that's why I had to leave the UK, because it was just pulling me back all the time. It was always about which degree, which university, and it's like, this shouldn't matter. I have experience.
Yeah.
And now experience trumps education any day of the week at whatever level.
Yeah. So true.
And when I did virtual coffee yesterday, I had 17 people on the call, 5 of which were brand new from the new Sassy event who just signed up. And you could just see they were hungry for my expertise and their questions, and were incredibly graciously thankful that they had the opportunity to spend money to work with me.
Yeah, that's great.
And it's just like, I said to Debbie after the call, I went, wow, things have changed. People are paying money to listen to me and thanking me for the opportunity. Where did that come from? And she said, honey, you really know your stuff. I went, yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
But just acknowledging that is a big deal.
Yeah, right. So
and you are that person.
Well, when it comes to the sales conversations you're having today versus the ones you had a year ago, how is that impacting you?
Well, it's funny because Bridget Callahan watched me in a sales conversation at this event, and she said, wow, that was genius. I said, what? She said, this lady who's been in my boot camp, I knew she should go VIP with me, but she hadn't said that. And she came and said, I really need to talk to you. And I went, okay, actually, I have 2 minutes now. And she said, I know you're really busy, but I just want to put it on your radar and set the attention that I want to work VIP with you, and I really need to know what that looks like. And I said, well, thank you. I'm honored. I would love to do that. You know, I wanted to work for you for a long time, and I think we could have a fantastically fun and productive time together. I just got to let you know, I have no capacity until September. And she said, no, I get that. I'm willing to pay a deposit, so I get my spot for September. And the fact that she said that and I didn't have to ask was quantum. And she said, how much is it going to cost? I said, truthfully, at this point, I don't know. Because I don't know how much you've got that I could work with or how much I need to create. I said, if you just needed a very fast turnaround and something that we could do together, you could start at $10,000. If you needed to work with me for everything that most people do and get the best benefit, we're looking at 45. So let's just say between 10 and 45, probably more towards the 45, because I haven't seen what you have yet to know what I've got to work with or where I need to start. And, you know, $1,500 deposit would secure your spot. So we could literally have the conversation in the summer to be able to start in September. That's great. I'm over the moon. And off she went. And Bridget looked at me and went, wow. I said, what? She said, you had to see it to believe it. That was just like,
good for
wow.
you.
And I wasn't even thinking that I was being observed. But I just know our stuff works. I know how much it costs. I know the value that we bring. Whereas, honestly, 6 months ago, I was like, oh, gosh, I know she's doing quite well, but I don't. She has a lot of money. I want to make sure I lose it and she doesn't get somebody else. What's the least I could do it for that would make her hire me? I'd have probably said, hey, we could do it for 15. And I'd have left it at that. I'm thinking I'd landed it really well. And I've done that. You know, in the last 6 months, I've done a deal for 15. And it's like, you shouldn't have done that. That was way too little. But I just thought it was a safe place to save a sale or to nail a sale. And I thought, well, it's 15. It's coming in. It's guaranteed. Come on. It's like, no, own your value and hold your own.
Yeah.
And I mean, but I'll still probably close 3 out of 4. Whereas before I was worried that I was closing like 1 out of 4.
To what extent have you prepared for typical objections? Like, in other words, do you have client stories? Like, let me give you an example. If you said to me, Jennifer, that sounds like a lot of money, you know what I mean? Like the reverse. I'm selling to you. Well, my first response would be, which means, because I want to get into your head to see how you're thinking, what you're comparing to, all of those things.
Okay.
But then I'm going to say, you know, most everyone I work with starts thinking that way. They began the relationship thinking that way. And let me share a quick story with you about Bob. And Bob's, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'll tell you about Bob and where he is today. Do you have your top, say, 3 to 5 common objections and a client success story to use in each one of those objections?
Do you know, I do. So in the SASE community, I mean, this lady is currently Platinum Elite. You know, and what I was able to say to her in a previous conversation was that, you know, you think what you got for your 45 with Platinum Elite and where you're at today, and sure, your mindsets change and you've got some good ideas, but let's be honest, what have you got to show for it? I don't have anything. I'm no different than I was 6 months ago, except I kind of get what my UBS is now, but I don't have a speak to sell talk. I don't have, my website hasn't changed. In fact, my website is, I'm embarrassed to send people to. And I said, I said, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying your 45 with SASE wasn't a good investment because it's helped you think and it's brought us together. Otherwise, we wouldn't have met. But I can tell you for that 45, what we will do with it and where when you will be with actual tangible results and collateral that's going to serve you for the next 3 years, it's going to blow you away. So I was able to quantify the 45, which to me is ultra high ticket, but people would drop 45 to work for Lisa Cherney, as you know, we know you did. And where you're at from that compared to what we did for the 45. So that more than gives them like, wow, I've already paid that and I didn't get a lot, but now I'm going to pay it again, but I'm going to get all of this. And then the other piece is, it's like, I say to people, what's your average sale? And so, you know, what's an ideal client lifetime value worth to you? And I often have people say, well, if I get people, and just think of the people that you've worked with, 300,000, 50,000, 80,000. I said, exactly. So really, realistically, investing in me, one new client, you already got your money back. And we're going to get you a lot more than that. Come on. Okay. So that's how I've overcome the price objection now. Because I know that's possible. By going to what they've spent already on other consultants or other programs. I had a client who spent $35,000 on a website, and it's a piece of garbage. Hasn't served him well at all, never has. And he spent this kind of money 5 years ago. I've come along and building him a beautiful website for $10,000, which is truthfully costing me $3.5. And he's going to come to me for SEO and AdWords and a lot of other things in the future but he so overpaid and didn't get the value. I should have charged him more. This is a while back. Probably not a good example. I should have charged him a lot more. I didn't know he'd spent $35,000 until after I quoted him on 10. But now when I say to people, I have clients that spent 35 and got nowhere. And now we're coming in at 25, let's just say, and they're getting a lot more. So that's how I do that.
Yeah, good.
And then with the clients that have been, I said, I have clients that are still with me 6-7 years into this journey, when truthfully, I was playing with what might work in social media back in those days. Now I know what does work. And here's the other thing. The industry is changing, like dramatically changing, not just year to year, but almost quarter to quarter. And you need to work with somebody who understands those winds of change and can course correct for you in your strategy without you having to try and learn it, because you will not be able to. You will not be able to keep up. So I have a whole team of millennials who just geek out on what's changing on the social media platforms, and we bring you what's new and happening. So
how are you guys keeping up with Google? I just read somewhere they are changing their logarithms 700 to 800 times a year.
Yeah. And some of it's very small. I mean, my SEO guy, Willie, I mean, he just lives in Google land. He goes to all the Google conferences. He geeks out 100% on the latest thing is called the Google Search Console, which is really gearing websites a lot more towards mobile responsiveness and how people read a website on mobile. That's the biggest thing with Google right now is this new Search Console. And we're having to make major changes to websites designed and Google will give you like a traffic light system of each page now, and what information is not being featured well on mobile. So it's not that the website looks pretty on mobile, but the actual information that people are searching for looks good on mobile. It's very different. And about once a month, I bring him into one of my virtual coffees. He does a live Q&A, and he's sharing what they're seeing differently, because his company does SEO for about 300 businesses, and he does 25 of my clients right now. I'm his biggest single client, so I cut him a check every month for about $6,000 to do paid SEO, and that's how we cover it off. So very much positioning us as a team of experts, so that they don't need to be.
Yeah, got it. Okay. All right. So
that's how I do mine, and the objections is like, that's way more money than I have. I said, that's okay. We're not for everybody. Yeah. But for those people who are willing to invest, the results come. But why don't you just take a course? Happy to teach you, and you can do it yourself. No, I don't want to do it myself. It's fun. That's our price. Yeah, right. And I'm not, I said I can't discount it down, because I'd be doing my team a disservice, because we're full. And this is what people are willing to pay, and I get where you're at, and I can help you with a payment plan, but I'd be doing us a disservice to reduce my price, because people are paying it. If it's not for you, I'm sorry. I get it. I have alternatives to help you get the information that you need. But if you want to work with us one-on-one, that's our price. And honestly, we'll be putting it up soon, because now I realize the value that we're bringing. I constantly realize we're undercharging. Yeah. And then there's a limiter. It's like, if I don't buy it and then I wait, it's going to be more. Yeah, right. That's definitely underlying. What do you think, Jonathan? Like, technically, when did my website go live? Like March, maybe? February? I'd have to check 100%. Yes, but we haven't really driven any traffic to it.
Yeah, that's my question because I'm not.
Because it's almost like you're still in soft launch mode.
Yeah.
Because it's there, and you've got a couple. We've put some blogs on it that we've put into LinkedIn articles, but we haven't got a campaign per se with email and your LinkedIn to actually say to people, I have all these resources for you now that I've built a custom website. Sure, I was that dinosaur that didn't do anything for 10 years and realized I had to rebuild it, and you're probably that way too in your marketing. So come join the journey and see what I've just done in my business. I don't know if you see my weekly, well, not weekly, but twice a month newsletters that I send out.
Yeah,
I get a pretty good open rate. I get about a 30% open rate.
that's
And
good.
I got 6 people right back to me yesterday from the email that went out yesterday afternoon. I've already had 6 actual replies, which is interesting because it's from Infusionsoft, but they think that I sent them a personal email still. And out of that, I know for sure one of those email responses I could turn into a client just from yesterday.
That's cool. I
So we
just
haven't done any of that for you yet.
no. You, by the way, after what's the 12th? Tuesday? Oops, you froze.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to drive people into a webinar that Dave Curlin, the founder of OMG, is doing. But if you have a virtual event, Jonathan, on your social media boot camp or whatever, I'm happy to promote it on my LinkedIn for you.
Oh, great.
I have so many coaches and consultants that I'm connected to on LinkedIn. I mean, I can do it on Facebook too, but you
You
just have
bet.
to share that with me, and I'm happy to publish that for you.
And then you're seen as a go-to resource as well, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
no, for sure.
So you just have to let me know.
Okay, thank you. Because the next social media bootcamp is this coming Tuesday, which is what one of the people bought from the newsletter yesterday. It's very short notice, but we could, and you could say because I typically sell that at $9.97, although the
Right.
website says $19.97, but I have a coupon code for half off.
Well, then just give me that info and I'll throw it up there.
Okay, let's do it. I'll send you that in a few minutes.
You might get something.
So how do you feel now?
The same.
You've written some ideas down there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Gosh, I'm always the cheerleader for other people. You know what I mean? And so it's not good mental space for me right now that I got to kind of get myself out of.
So when you started Sassy, as I did, they made us go to, who's that one client that you had a really good success with that you could think in your mind when you're putting all your stuff together? And I actually use my kitchen company, which is the guy who's been with me 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
who's still with me. And I just, because sometimes you just think, who am I and what do I bring? And then I go back to the results that you've had for specific people. And then when you bring that thought back into your head and say, oh yeah, oh, I am good at this. And you just keep that one client or multiple client success stories in your head. And then it's almost like sitting on a cushion and you're higher in the chair because you've got that padding under you because you know what you've done.
I'm okay in that space actually, right?
Yeah.
It's the scary space of needing to generate a lot of leads and I have none coming in, zero.
So it's one-on-one. So it's like the beach full of starfish that get washed up, and there's guys standing on a beach throwing, one starfish at a time back into the ocean. And someone says, dude, what's the point? There's thousands. And they went, well, it worked for this one. And it worked for this one. And that's what you do with LinkedIn is you literally, you one-on-one combat person by person by reaching out, having a warm list of people that you think about, finding them. And this is what Jeff could be doing. I'd love to show him how I've helped a lot of people do this, and not just sort of getting on the phone and just saying, I'm available. What do you need? But you have to come alongside people for a journey first, and them get to realize that you're back out there and you're doing stuff. But as soon as they feel that you're trying to sell to them, that guard goes up. But the guard goes down the longer the journey and the more you promote and share and do stuff with them. And then it becomes, hey, can we have a conversation?
Yeah.
I have some thoughts, and that's my engagement strategy. It has been for a long time, and I have more sticky notes on my wall than I know how to handle, and all I need to do is turn up on the tap. And every time I feel a bit worried, I do that, and each time, 4 or 5 clients, turn, and it's like they're on my wall already. I just needed to have the time or the inclination to turn the faucet up a bit more.
Got it.
So you can do that. You've got those people, but I don't like going straight for the jugular. It's dating. It's first base dating at this point.
Right. Should we be on Sales Navigator, which I know nothing about?
Well, when we last spoke, Jeff was just on a call with somebody from LinkedIn to talk about that, right?
Yeah. And they pulled one of their all right, you have 1 hour to buy, and if you buy in 1 hour, it's $5,000. If you wait till tomorrow, it's $7,500. Yeah, and it just turned us off.
Because you get a month for free, right?
I don't know.
I am constantly getting because if you look at it and then you leave, within minutes I get a box popping up saying try for 30 days, no cost. Just fill it in now, and you can cancel at any time. Yeah, I'm sure you can get a month. And what some friends of mine have been very strategic, and they have just data mined it to the nth degree in those 30 days, and then pulled.
So, in a 30-second overview, what does Sales Navigator do as a tool?
Well, what it is, it's the old LinkedIn advanced search function that they took away. So you pay for premium. You have the gold LinkedIn boxes, right?
Yep.
Which means that you have LinkedIn InMail. That means you can reach anybody, whether you're connected to them or not, by an LinkedIn email.
Yep.
But it used to be with premium was that you got advanced search, and they've separated that into Sales Navigator. So it is really like a huge CRM access that you just pay for by being able to drill down on job title, company size, income level, and geography that we used to be able to do for free. And now that's what Sales Navigator really does for you.
Got it. Okay, that helps. Yeah, I'll revisit that with him a little bit later today and see what his thoughts are.
I love his business card, by the way, without the photograph.
She did a great job without a photograph. She
I mean,
really
the picture, it was the best we had, and it still looked a little photoshopped.
right.
And it wasn't super high quality photograph because we found it on Facebook anyway, so we lost the resolution. But when I saw what it ended up like without his photograph, it looks. I think when he has that in his hand, I think it's going to give him a new lease on life.
No, I think it'll be good. And in fact, I think next Thursday he's going to go to a Sales 3.0 conference that he got accepted to. And I know there's a lot of presidents and VPs that are going to be in attendance at that. So it'll be timely to get those.
Yeah. And I think too, what you two have to bring to the table is more than what you have done in the past. In so much as to say, we get where the industry is today. We have tools that are not available that will help you in no uncertain terms find the right people and also maximize the people that you've already got. And these are not proprietary tools. These are not things that you can find on the internet. But by working with us and the tools that we bring will make a huge difference. And you've got those 2 assessments. I mean, they're killer. I mean, they're expensive.
But see, those are available on the internet.
But they don't know that, right?
Yeah.
You need to, well, I'm not saying you smoke and mirrors, but the secret is not in the tool. The secret is in the analysis, that the experience that you bring to that.
Yeah.
Sure, you can fill an assessment and do a disc or whatever, but who's going to explain it to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that would be my hook. Is
okay.
saying, we have technology that's like current. It's mind-blowingly accurate, but the secret is in the analysis. So not only can we can get the DNA of your people, we can then show you how to leverage that. Modify the genetics of your team or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that to me is like, oh, Tell me more. Well, let's do a call.
What was the second part of that you just said? You said we can get the DNA of your people and
Modify their genetic code.
yeah, I
This is
like
all
that.
recorded. I'll send it to you. But that's the kind of language that I would use, because that is different. That makes you unique. That leverage your because it's easy for you. You know, as soon as you read those reports, how to talk to somebody. I mean, you change. You've when I did that video for you, I mean, you literally changed the way I look at things quantumly in like no time at all, just because of the affirmation that you spoke into me. And you nailed my weak spots that I knew were there.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't just nail them and pinpoint them. You gave me a way of overcoming them. And those pieces are so valuable to every person out there.
Yeah. All right, Jonathan.
You're on this planet for a purpose, my friend.
What's that?
You're on this planet for a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, ditto. Ditto, ditto. Well, once I get my arms around what I need to do here, I would love for us to brainstorm an event.
I would too.
You know, because you've got the front end and I've got the back end.
You betcha.
So
are we still looking at those dates for the strategic conversion course? Are they going to work for you?
they're going to work for me. The problem is I don't have any big launch to get people in it.
Well, we only want to 12, right? 10 to 12.
Yeah.
I think we could do that by handpicking people at $2,000 a ticket. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. And that's 20 grand straight into the bank account from that first course. And it's your way of learning how to do it. Delivery online, getting some amazing testimonies, and helping 10 great people.
Right. No, I mean, that's something I can teach without even planning for it.
Yeah. And then you have a resource to be able to build it out to relaunch it again in September or whatever.
Yeah.
And that becomes like your entry level way of good quality client generation.
So if I were to post that on Facebook, say, on my company page,
yeah,
that's where I'm just stuck. I don't even know what to put there other than, yeah.
Oh, I can do that for you. I know the wording and how to do it. You just need to tell me it's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
So the assessment that Paige did for the pre-assessment to get them through,
that. Mm-hmm.
That's okay. Okay.
Yep.
We could do that. And I think if we went through that SASE directory together, as we talked about, the Sushans and different people of the sales world that we know, who just don't have what you have. Gosh, even Lisa Cherney should be in that course, to be honest.
Why do you say that?
Well, have you seen her marketing?
I mean, I don't resonate with anything she's doing today.
I don't either, at all.
You know, I'm not judging it. It's just it doesn't resonate for me.
I don't think it. I don't know. I just don't think it's going to work.
I don't either.
She's marketing herself as a mentor to multimillionaire and billionaires, and at the same time, she's dropping the F-bomb all over the place. She's talking about her sex life all over the place.
No, it's just. I mean, I listened to her first 2 podcasts this week because she asked me to write a review. The first person is about a lady who ended up in jail for 4 years because her first husband was a crook. And she was John Asherat's biggest rising star and ended up in the San Diego jail for 4 years because of. It was a very interesting story. But she was very woo in what she did for her clients. So that was interesting. But the second one is this polyamorous sex shaman who goes naked on TV and now has his multiple consensual relationships with multiple couples. And that was her second guest. And she's drooling over this lady on this podcast. And I'm just listening to it. I think, are you kidding me? And what was the point, though, other than it being I guess, interesting story? I don't know.
I was, and it was a 47-minute long podcast. It wasn't short. Oh. And she's, but this is her thing. I mean, she gets turned on by obviously having multiple boyfriends, and she thinks she's a 4'9", sexy, curvy MILF sort of thing. And it's like, ew, like, come on. I don't know. Maybe she will attract a 5% weird. But her offer right now is to join her squad, the GFR squad, for $200 lifetime value membership, and for the first 200 people. And that's the only price point that she has on her website right now, is either a $200 or a $500 price point.
And is that a GFR website?
Yeah, it's gfr.life.
Ugh, yeah, it just doesn't even intrigue me.
No, and if that's the way she wants to go, I mean, but it's. I mean, I'm going to write a review, but I'm not going to recommend it. I'm just going to say, I've thought about it a lot. I'm going to say Lisa Cherney is the wasabi to your sushi. If you really want to spice things up and you love wasabi, you'll love this.
Ah, that's good.
Because it's like...
That's good. That's perfect, Jonathan.
I figured that was politically and strategically a good way to say it.
It is. And yes, I love it. Wow. I would have never expected her to take this direction. I don't know what.
I don't know. I mean, AJL and her coaching woo stuff as well, as that didn't resonate with me at all. And yet listening to her on Lisa's stage the other day, I mean, she was in her genius. And it's like, she's broad spectrum, high ticket entrepreneur mindset person. And yet her event was micro coaching weird shit. So
Yeah.
Anyway, we can do this. We're as good as those two. Easy and more.
I should probably change the date then, because there's no way in a week's time I can get 10 people.
Well, wasn't it to start in July though? The early bird was at the end of...
Maybe you changed that.
I did.
We originally talked about June.
We did. One sec. I'm pretty sure it is... Oh, it starts July 12th. Yeah.
Okay, that's doable.
End of June was the early bird price deadline.
You're right. Okay. All
so
right.
We have what, 3 weeks to find 10 people.
Yeah.
Early bird price in 1997 by June 30th.
Okay.
And that's something that, I could happily promote too. It's like, I'm in this. Yeah. I guess what we have to do now is replace your logos to the J. Hines International.
Right.
But then this is your course specifically, isn't it? It's not Jeff's course.
It is, but that's okay.
We would probably keep the J. Hines High Producer Sales Expert logo on certain pages. But on the homepage, I guess we should switch over to the J. Hines. But then it's still your picture. We still don't have a good picture of Jeff, do we?
No, but Jeff's comment was this. So first of all, I need to get that logo switched quickly, because he is sending people to the website and it's just awkward.
Yeah.
But his point was he could care less that it's my photo there. You know what I mean? Like he said, that doesn't impact much. But when it's just me, it's just kind of odd in the logo part. And then underneath it, I put to Lindsay, it needs to say the high producer sales experts, make it plural.
Okay.
You follow? It's just adding an S to that.
Okay. Yeah, I can get Paige to do that today.
That would be good, because he is making calls and people are landing there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we can do that today.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Keep the faith, my friend.
All right. Very good. How long are you in Palm Springs?
We come home on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, honestly, I've worked probably at least 7 hours every day I've been here. I was hoping to do less, but it's a bit frustrating, really, when it's beautiful weather and I'm stuck in a hotel room, like beavering away. But I still got at least an hour. I got to the pool yesterday at 4 o'clock, so I got an hour at the spa pool. I went, I'll take an hour. And then we had a nice dinner and we did the night market, but literally I worked from 7 till 3.
What's today look like?
Actually, today is not bad. I think I'm done by 11:30.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Hey, real quick, I was shocked that Louise was main stage at Speak to Sell. She never said a word to me that she was doing that.
It was a moment of inspiration. And she was good too, actually. She was very good.
Uh-huh.
It was only 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. I had the impression she did a Speak to Sell up there.
No, she had three people do a 3-minute introduction. Like she calls them moments of inspiration of successful sassies who get to introduce. So she introduced the Friday night hot seat panel with Lisa and AJL. So I just came back into the room just to be there for her. And as soon as she was off the stage, I left. I hardly stayed to any of the sessions, to be honest, this time. But yeah, that's all she did.
I gotcha.
They had Venus back again. God, that woman is so insecure.
You know what, Jonathan? She was in my Platinum Elite. I just can't even, there's something wrong with her.
There is. She's bipolar or something. Because she was on the stage and she's full of fizz. I mean, her stage presence is excellent and she's funny. But 10 minutes later, she is in buckets of tears outside and Lisa Cherney is hugging her and rubbing her back. And it's like, come on, you're a grown woman. Get your stuff together, you know?
Are you connected with her on Facebook?
I don't even, I am, but I don't even look at her stuff. It's embarrassing. I said to Debbie about some of the stuff that she'd written, and Debbie went, you're kidding me. I went, it's no wonder her wife left her. I mean, she's a nut job.
Yeah, big time.
And she's back. She just bought Sassy again for another 6 months. I went, oh, great.
Yeah,
so dominate the whole freaking place.
I gave Lisa that feedback in Platinum Elite at the end. She was asking me about value or something like that. And I said, well, I am struggling with being really candid here. And she's like, no, I want to know. And I just said, well, I feel like one person in the group got 80% of the air in the room. And I was referring to Venus. And she went, yeah. And then she took ownership of it. She goes, that's my fault. But that's how it worked. That's why there was little value. And, you know, frankly, Venus's approach is, I'll never forget this because, you know, she just had a hysterectomy not that long ago.
Yeah.
And after I had mine, I bet you for 5 months, I physically felt horrible. Like, I can't explain when your hormones are doing that. I can't even explain the feeling. But anyway, she was so in my face. Like, and I was honoring that. I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but I'm just being honest and blah, 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 you know, on some of our calls. And she would jump in my face. And now when I read her notes on Facebook about be gentle with me, I just had a hysterectomy. I'm like, okay.
You're not the only one. I didn't even speak to her at the event. I mean, she was there and everybody was loving on her. It's like, it's just one big attention grab.
It really is. You know what? If you're not witness to what goes on, it's hard to even, I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just decided to go to the retreat with a view to like data mining whoever's in that room because it's my last chance.
Yeah.
I mean, Lisa's last event, I mean, it was good, but it wasn't, I mean, there was nothing it's probably the first time I've come away and it's like, yeah, I didn't learn a thing.
Yeah.
Except I got a stage and I learned my stagecraft, but I was in a different place. And I said to Debbie, I don't know if I was up for renewal and it was all carrying on, if I'd actually done it this time. She said, oh, you would. Because these are our people. And she said, but you know, we're not mercenary, but we're not here for Lisa anymore. We're here to help the people that follow Lisa.
Yeah, no, I agree. Anyway, yeah. Well, I'm going to James Malinchek's mastermind next week. Jeff and I.
That's exciting.
So I'll be excited to share that with you the following.
And I met somebody this week who's going to that.
Really?
Oh crap! Not somebody I knew either, but they
was it at Sassy?
Yeah. And I mentioned your name and I said that you'd just done the book with James and she said that is such a smart thing to do. Oh.
We didn't do the book yet. He's not doing the books until September.
Oh, okay. I just said you were very impressed.
Yeah.
She agreed and it'll come to me. I have no idea who that was right now.
Not Lori McNeil.
Name doesn't resonate.
Okay.
It was somebody who was at Lisa's event that I met in person and we were chatting.
Maybe I'll meet her then. Because there's only 30 people, I think, at this.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'll fill you in.
Okay, my darling. Have fun.
Okay, you have a great time there. Say hi to Debbie.
Okay. Hope this helped. And I'll
It
send you
did.
the recording as well. And you have so much, the two of you, to do. The world needs you, and you've got it. You just need to leverage it.
Yep. Agreed.
Hard lunch rather than soft lunch time.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right. Enjoy.
Bless you.
Okay,
I'm with
bye-bye.
you. See ya.
I know. Thanks, Jonathan.
Bye.